waiting to enter the interview, and I thought I'd film a little bit beforehand. Here's the spiel. The interviewer is going to be using questions that you have asked on my Instagram story throughout the past 2 years now. That is how long I have been gathering questions and not answering them. The person who's going to interview me, I am very honored to be interviewed by her. It's so exciting. I hope I can do your questions justice through my answers. Yeah, it's actually time. Okay, here we go. Hello! I've not seen you for donkey's years. Yeah, it's been a while. So nice to see you. You too. As you can see, viewers, we are zooming right now because safety reasons, and I am on the other side of the world, so that's another reason. Not going to be traveling to the other side of the world anytime soon. But I appreciate you tuning in. It is very exciting. We have the Botany Babe with us today, and I'm merely here to inquire and pass them on to our beloved guest of honor. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me and performing this interview with me. It is so exciting. We were communicating before it, right, on how you're preparing for it and really taking time to answer the questions. Yes, I've been preparing for them. They're actually really good questions. So to get started, we have the first question, and I will read this out to you. First, what drives you as an artist? Just gonna jot down some notes as we go along. I hope you don't mind. Take your time, you know, everything is just peachy. Good question. There are so many things that motivate me as an artist. One of the biggest things would be the passion for, first of all, the process itself. I don't think anyone can get very far without that passion and that fire to begin with. That's true. Right? Yeah, right? Right. Yeah. When I'm stressed out, when I'm happy, no matter what I'm feeling, I tend to go to art when I want an outlet. I equate it to what people feel when they go to a spa, right, when they take a long bath. And we all do enjoy a good bath every now and then, right? Or when they escape in a good book. It's just that feeling of peace. Really get to utilize the creative side of me that would otherwise probably feel left out. I understand, I do. It's more than just drawing as well. It's more than just the physical aspect of it, more than just putting a pen to paper. It's also, and the sound of it. It's also about what happens after. Sometimes I get to do custom orders, and meaning like I can draw a portrait for someone else, and maybe it's someone they want to remember, maybe it's someone that's close to them, maybe it's a gift for somebody, and just to know that my art serves a purpose in that way and can reach other people, and it's really fulfilling. It makes me really happy. I can see that. I can see that, yes. I like to typically have the portrait looking at the flowers because it's supposed to be symbolic. Oh. The portrait is usually in graphite, like pencil, grayscale. And the flowers are usually in color. Reason for that is because the graphite symbolizes emotions that people can have. 100%. I draw them so that they're facing or looking at the nature. Just to represent the fact that there is beauty around even when you're not feeling well. There's always something good to look at. This is something to be shared. Having that hanging on your wall and even my wall has been a really good reminder. Thank you so much for that answer. Let me jot down a bit here and there. So the next question is, if you weren't an artist, what other career could you see yourself doing? It's a tough one. Yeah, let's say it was taken off the table. Ooh, I like this. All right, what would you do? Well, first of all, I would mourn for my hobby and my therapy, and then I would make the best of it, and I would still be creating in some shape or form. I would probably pick up something else to replace art, such as most likely sewing. Like sewing machine, I would pick up embroidery even more, because I've done both of those before, and I've made certain things before. Embroidered art pieces and aprons even. I think a failed dress attempt. But I would probably pick up sewing more seriously, maybe sew some outfits, maybe sew my whole wardrobe. So I could see myself being a seamstress.
You know, I always wished that I could sew. My mother sews, my grandmama sews.
Yeah, it's really a skill.
Exactly, like it is quite a skill, and I think that a lot of people have lost it. Who is there to teach them the skill? So if you have that skill, do not take it for granted. Pass it on. Pass it on to your friends, to your family, your children, if you have any, right? I like this next question because
you're cutting out.
Am I cutting out now?
No, I can hear you.
Yes.
I see you.
Oh, you can hear me. Good. All right. Where was I? Oh, yes. So in your shop, you have many different florals and botanicals and just a myriad of plants and flowers. So this next question is really intriguing ultimately, because they are asking you to narrow it down to just not 20, not 10, but 7. 7 flowers. It's quite a few to think of. But with your background and experience, it probably will be a jiffy.
Okay, blue bonnets. Definitely. Rich colors. Love them. Euphorbia.
What is that?
Euphorbia is right here on my wall.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
My family has a pot of them, actually, in their home, and that's where I first learned about them.
Yes.
Daisies. Sometimes I find them growing along the side of my fence, and then I cut them and bring them in. You might have seen that on my YouTube channel previously. Lilies. Verbascum Jackie. These flowers are so pretty.
Do you by any chance have an example?
These ones right here, I don't know if you can see them.
Oh, so delightful.
The petals on them are so pretty. So pretty.
Yes, it really is.
Okay.
All right.
The other one, so sunflowers. Next one is heleniums, and I actually have an example.
What is that?
So this is a helenium, and they're very pretty. I've always loved them.
Right, we'll move on with it. If you could only listen to one song the rest of your life, what would it be? Now that, I must say, that is, the song must be rubbish. Because if it doesn't start as rubbish, it's going to end up as rubbish. Because no one wants to hear any song that many times and for that long. I highly doubt.
Well,
do you agree?
I suppose. If I had to pick one song, I would say maybe Here's to Hoping by Michael Logan. But yeah, the chorus just reminds you to take a step back, look at the bigger picture. Fun fact, I listened to this song, Here's to Hoping, as I was cutting my hair. So, like chopping off hair that was down to... So yeah, Here's to Hoping. And it turned out well, so maybe that is the right song I chose.
Yeah. Alright, next one. If you could live in a fictional world, which one and why? So I guess like a storybook or, movie.
I didn't have to think about this one for too long. I would want to be a part of Anne of Green Gables, because for Avonlea, the fictional place. I can't believe I'm doing this entire thing with ivy on my head. I've gotten so used to it. Anyways, it just reminded me of Anne because she puts flowers in her hat and walks around at school, which is not quite normal. Yet here I am. And I mean, putting flowers in a hat is more normal than this, so I'll give her that. The reason is because although certain people meddled, Rachel, you know who you are, and others were competitive and jealous, Ruby Gillis.
Mm-hmm.
It was a beautiful place, a tight-knit community, and with characters like Anne Shirley, or I guess I should say Cordelia, I'm already trying to get on her good side. And the time period would give me an excuse to wear prairie dresses all the time.
I 100% agree.
But yeah, I think it would fit in well in that time frame. And I mean, a world with Gilbert, as long as he doesn't pull my hair, we're good.
Absolutely. Let me just get my reading glasses, please. Thank you. Alright, now, so many are asking where you are located. Let's clear that up for them. You're in...
Yep, I'm in Canada.
Canada, right. So, here's a little question, alright, that I'm going to ask you. If you were not in Canada, where would you be? Can I guess for a moment?
Yep.
Alright. I think that you would probably want to visit Britain.
Italy, hands down.
So we have another open-ended question. Explain your teenage life. I'm intrigued. Are you intrigued?
I'm intrigued. Yeah, it was an interesting question.
Yes.
I was academically inclined. I would enter the school year thinking pretty much that I could get 100% in every single class the whole way through.
All right.
That was my dream. And I did get 100% in a couple classes by the end, or one class, I think, but mainly in the 90s. So that explains me academically.
Should be quite chuffed to bits. I mean, well done.
Thank you. And otherwise, I definitely did art. I took art class in high school. I did art on the side all the time growing up, as you can see in one of my last YouTube videos, ever since I was a toddler, using crayons, working on my hour-long masterpiece. I would definitely read a lot. I would listen to a lot of music, play guitar. Even at school, when there was called a singing or a music Wednesday in the library. So, which is actually funny because usually libraries are meant to be quiet. There's like full mic set up, so that was part of what I love doing. And there was a piano in the cafeteria that I used to play on lunches. I only knew a few songs, and I practiced them and kept playing them. It never really got boring. I would go there before school started, during lunch if I had time. I got my first job, I got my license, got my car. I was pretty much the same as I am now, to be quite honest. Except with no ivy. Alright, next question.
Do you ever struggle drawing from imagination?
It's not always pick up and go. It's not always, oh, done. It's not always that easy. So when I do struggle for imagination, I try to, first of all, not force it, not think about it too hard, but when I need inspiration, I go outside. I honestly go outside. It's something about it makes me feel so much freer, and I listen to music too that maybe is uplifting. I plan the colors from there, and then I look up flowers, either reference photos online or I walk around, outside. Yeah, I partner up with some photographers. Like I did a daffodil partnership with Chris Paloma. There was also a cannonball tree flower that I drew and studied with a woman who's no longer on social media. We did research on it. I wrote up a final essay, you could call it, and put it on my blog, my website, which is botanybabes.ca, and added the photos of the art after it. So I would say collaboration. I didn't even write this part down. I didn't even think of this, but as I'm answering the question now, yeah, collaboration.
That's reasonable. Thank you for being honest. How much time do you spend working on your artwork?
It could take around like 3 to 5 hours if it's a really detailed, intricate piece, and it's a bigger piece, then maybe a couple days. Not straight, but a couple days.
That is reasonable. That is reasonable. Yes. Makes sense. What plants are most important to you personally? So it's up for some adaptation, I'm sure.
Heleniums. I mentioned these earlier, and the reason why they're important to me is because it's where Botany Babes really started.
Oh.
I did a watercolor portrait and heleniums around it, and then I called her, like I kind of painted it right in, her name. I called her Helen. And then lastly, Euphorbia. I mentioned these earlier, so I guess I get to explain it a little bit more now. It was the very first official art piece that I uploaded to my shop. I was working on my full-time job, same job I have now. I was working, came home after work, started taking art a little bit more seriously in my sketchbook. It's literally right here. This very sketchbook. And I drew this right in my sketchbook. I started taking it more seriously. I was starting to take the shading more seriously as well, and just really take my time with it.
Oh, that's great.
I just sat down and said, okay, I'm going to spend the rest of the night probably doing art.
Okay. What is your lockdown album or artist or music that what's an artist or music rather that has defined your time in lockdown?
So this question was asked, I think, more near the start of the lockdown. I'm going to answer what I was listening to then. So, because I remember the answer ever since this question was asked. It was most likely Noah Cyrus. There was a specific album. I don't know if she has more than one, but there was a nice album that I stumbled upon, and it's called, it's called The End of Everything, and it actually came out in 2020. So that is the one that defined my my lockdown. But beyond that, let's see here. Pardon me. Phoebe Bridgers, I've been listening to a lot of her music, and always Taylor Swift. A couple Audrey Hepburn songs. The River by Hunter Metz. Taylor. Sam Phillips, a lot of Sam Phillips. The Chiffons. Selena Gomez. Also, She and Him, like Zooey Deschanel. A lot of that. Michael Bublé, Tony Bennett. Some Billie Holiday. Jack Johnson. When I clean around the house, Jennifer Lopez. Lisa Hannigan for the art work sometimes that I do. Julie Boulanger, that's another one. And definitely, yeah, Jewel Kilcher. Her music is amazing. I used to listen to her music and Frank Sinatra's all the time when I was in high school in art class. Pop my headphones in, get to work on art for a whole hour or something, listen to that music, take my headphones out, move on, come back the next day, same thing. And it was funny because apparently the girl sitting next to me could always hear my music, either trumpets from the jazz music or the female vocal from Jewel when she gets really high up there on those amazing notes. And I think that's all. Otherwise, I'm gonna just completely continue and read out to you my entire music library. So those are the tops.
Does it have the right,
I would say,
right feeling in it? Yeah. Now this next one, I myself must admit, I'm not quite in the loop. So people are just wondering, like they have no clue. How old are you?
A couple decades old.
Not quite exact, is it? All right.
Yes, that's my best answer. I haven't been counting. What can I say?
Which flower do you think would describe you best?
Probably Calmia latifolia, aka Sarah. No, probably a sunflower because they are extremely heat and drought tolerant, and that to me means that they're really resilient and tough. And also they're yellow. They're obviously like the first thing you think of when you think of sunflowers is cheery, and I tend to be more on the positive side than, or I try to be more on the positive side than the negative side. You'll oftentimes probably find me laughing at my own mistakes, laughing at the horrid irony of situations instead of complaining or being negative about them, which is not a bad thing. Not a sunflower all the time, but I think it's the best one that describes me. I didn't have an answer for this before the interview. It was a hard one, and you said it would be a hard one. I know who was asking this, and it was till now.
Where did this all begin? Like, what started it? How did you decide to start this page? Page as in Instagram, but overall as an Etsy shop.
Yeah, page as an Instagram, also Etsy shop, yeah, because it's all tied in together. So I didn't start my Instagram just for the sake of having Instagram. I started Instagram to show what goes on behind the scenes for my Etsy shop. So sort of the inside scoop, and to meet new people as well, meet fellow artists, meet new people. But what made me start my shop overall and just the Botany Babes altogether, is I really had an itch to draw, and I wanted an outlet just more than my sketchbook. I wanted to expand on that, and it really provided an outlet for my creativity. All aspects of it as well. YouTube channel ties into my Etsy shop. I get to share my artworks in progress. Even vlogs, right? Vlogs as an artist, vlog decorating my studio. It all ties in together. And I get to make music for it. I get to, play guitar for it. Even sing for it. I use some of the songs that I wrote and sang for my videos. And created my own theme song at the beginning, as you know. And also, I get to use photography as well for my product items in my Etsy shop. And I have a blog, right, the website, and I want to do more posts on there. So maybe bookmark botanybabes.ca, because I want to do some more research as my time frees up a little bit, and I'll make time for that. And do some scientific essays that are interesting to read. They're not going to be just an outpour of fact after fact. It'll be an actual composed, put together piece that you can read and learn something from, maybe laugh a little and be enthused with. But yeah, so it incorporates my writing, photography, artistic art side, tech side for putting together videos, and making music.
I like that. I like that. Right. So did you study art, or are you a natural?
I didn't study art in college or anything, or take any paid-for classes to learn about art. It's been definitely learned from my parents. It all started there. Like, we'd all draw together as a family because my mom and dad were artists. Around the kitchen table, there were phases where I didn't want to. Thankfully, they enforced that in me, and now it's something I really love. So that's how it started. And then from there, I just kept on going with it because of the fact that I liked it. And here I am today, still learning. I like watching other artists sometimes.
Very good, very good.
As I explore different mediums too, like acrylic or oil painting. I did an oil painting recently for the first time. It's on my Instagram. It's a still life, black and white portrait. Not portrait, but still life study. And that was really enjoyable. So yeah, no like professional schooling, just art classes in high school and my parents.
And I suppose it ties in with the next question as well, which is, there are the next few questions then, which is, does creative genius run in the family, and how did you get into drawing and painting?
There you go. Yes, it does tie in together.
Oh no, we already read that question.
Well done.
All right.
Well done.
What is your favorite art medium?
It changes.
And we know that a lot of your portraits are graphite, they are watercolor, they are acrylic. I believe some of them are acrylic. Is that right? Is that not right?
I've done some acrylic painting, just on one of my pieces though. So the majority of them has been graphite, watercolor, and pencil crayon.
Okay, all right, yes. So which one is your favorite? Is what they want to know.
My favorite, I'm gonna say graphite, because you can just pick it up, one little utensil, and create something pretty amazing and really fun to blend that graphite on the paper. You know, I have a little sketchbook that I filled up for 2019 and 2020, and I finished it now, and I just sketched little portraits of sometimes people I knew, sometimes actors or actresses from TV shows in a nice angle or a nice environment or nice lighting or something that just captured my eye and I needed to get it on a paper. And then I have a new book for that exact purpose. Just little sketches, no pressure, no final art piece that is going to be sold or anything. It's just for me. Might not even share it. That's the type of sketchbook this is for. Well, I guess I'm sharing this. So this is the new red one, 2022. I was about to say 2021. And I did my first sketch in there. It's nothing, like I said, nothing fancy.
I mean, it makes sense. It's reasonable. I can see how it would change. It's kind of like asking what your favorite dinner is, you know, right? It changes from time to time. Probably wouldn't be your favorite dinner if you had it every night.
Oh, yeah.
I like this one. I rather like this one. How do you stay inspired to create and keep things from becoming monotonous?
Yeah, it's very possible for things to become monotonous. Different mediums is one thing that helps with keeping it interesting, and different hobbies. If I find that I'm a little bit not bored, but a little bit bored of art, maybe because I've done art for like constantly so many days in a row or something, then I take a break from it. Everybody needs a weekend or a day off or something. So I turn to a different hobby, like I pick up my crochet hook or something. I'm actually in the middle of making a blanket, and whenever I have spare time, I'll continue working on that blanket, and I'll show you when I'm done. Or, you know, I read more than I would. I read maybe an extra chapter or something. And the more time I spend away from the artwork, the more I want to get back to it.
What inspires your work and why?
Well, definitely the process itself, as I was mentioning earlier, that is what keeps me going because I enjoy it. But because it's very therapeutic every single step of the way. But what inspires my work and why? Other than that, I mentioned it already, going outside, spending time outside, even if it's the winter, because if it's the winter, there's no flowers outside, so I want flowers inside.
And that rather ties in to what we were discussing earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the process, motivating you each step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And why do you make this type of art? And what inspires your style of art?
I appreciate the story and the emotion and the simplicity behind the vintage illustrations and paintings. Probably you too, like when you look at them, it's not just a photograph, and a photograph can already inspire you. But a painting, you see the strokes, you see the emotion, you see what the artist was trying to tell you. So that's what I usually aim for, is just to relaying that delicacy and evoking that feeling of calm when you look at the art, even the process of the art. Usually when I share a work in progress on Instagram or something, I try to keep the whole atmosphere more on the peaceful side of things. And like it makes you think you're in a garden, hence my studio. Yeah, anything that reminds you of the good, how there is beauty to look at no matter what's going on personally or on a global scale. That's the main goal of my art. There's also that scientific side. So you know how I do those breakdowns of the flower itself, do some research as to maybe where the flower grows. All of that is also really cool to keep learning because I'm not in school anymore. So this is a way that I can keep learning new things. Right here, for anybody who doesn't know, which is everybody because I've never shown what's inside this folder, there's a bunch of goodies in this folder. I get to explore the world through my art. I looked up where those flowers actually grew or are native to, and I'm coloring in the map. So hopefully my goal is to one day color in the entire map. And by now, I probably have a lot more of these that should be filled in.
I just want to thank you so much. Let's all give a round of applause. I mean, really top notch. You know, expectations high, expectations met. It was really a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for the questions.
To speak with you. One moment.
Ah, yes, coffee time.
I probably should not be having coffee this late, but...
What time is it for you? Right now?
Well, for me, it is 9:24 p.m. And now I just won't sleep at night, you know.
Yeah.
That's always an answer. It's time for a virtual hug.
Virtual hug.
Yes, come on. Fabulous. And we must meet again.
Yes.
Hopefully once normal circumstances return and
the normal
face to face. That would be
that's the dream.
That would be suitable.
Yep.
That would rather be
anytime soon.
Yes. I should think so. We look forward to seeing more of your work and
I look forward to making it.
Absolutely fantastic to speak with you. I want to thank you in every way possible.
Of course.
We must do this again.
I just want to thank you so much for coming on and asking me these questions, relaying them to me from my followers and my friends.
Oh, no. It's okay, it's okay. Follow up with this Botany Babe and see her work and support her and see what she's up to on a daily basis. Go right ahead. I will put all of her links in the description below and also right here, because why not? And, stick around one moment, because we have a little bit of a special surprise near the end. For now, gotta go. So in a
Bye,
bit.
take care.
All right.
And here's a random old photo of me when I had black glasses. You're not supposed to know they're mine. I'm really getting used to this ivy. It doesn't feel weird to have on my head at all. It may look like I'm slightly an alien right here. I'm aware of that. I'm so hot in this. Thank you for pressing play. I hope you have a great day. Bye.